Hello Titans. I wanted to start today by going over some of our logos. This is a picture of one of mine that I printed out before I did this project when I did it as construction paper to show my students that this is great, but it feels a little bit boring. Now, additionally, you know that my current version of this has flames and this does not, but you can see that all I did was basically trace out the shape of the identification and my other feature. But there's no there's nothing really making them feel like they stand apart. Now I want to have unity overall, but I also want to be able to have some contrast and emphasis in my piece. Emphasis means that we make something stand out. So obviously the most important part, even if the flames were here, would be the identification. So you can see in my second version that I added an outline around, or you know it as a stroke, around my most important part. After that, I felt like that it was a little bit too disconnected from the oval, so now it's so separate that it's kind of a problem. So I made an outline around my oval, which brought me back to the same first problem of the S not standing out enough. So I did what's called an offset shadow to make that S feel even more important. Okay. My last step was I really wanted to make everything feel unified and collected together. So although I just emphasized the S, sometimes you need another shape to go around your entire logo to make it feel like that logo is all one. So I did a double outline here. I want to show you how to do each of those things in Illustrator so you could create emphasis or contrast, and so that you can have overall unity in your logos, which if you look up some logos online, you'll see that many of them use bold outlines and shadows to create emphasis within their own logos. So I really wanted to just compare these for a second. You can see that in my first logo, it's very shallow and it feels kind of like low level. But just the addition of these simple changes are going to make it feel much more professional and probably a little bit more like it has depth instead of being so basic. So let's go over to Illustrator and I'll show you how to add those changes. Okay, so first things first is simple coloring. Select the thing that you want to color. Make sure, let's make sure everything is unlocked. Unlock all. Select the object that you want to color. Go over either to here and double click, or up here and look through your options and pick whatever color you want it to be. If you want it to have an exterior outline or stroke, which you do because that's the first thing we talked about was having outlines, you would want to have this set probably to black. You're then going to make it large enough so that you have the stroke that's appropriate for what you feel is necessary in your piece. I'm going to go with, for my stroke, I'm going to go with something like 4. Okay. I'm going to color all the rest of this so you don't have to watch. Okay, so I gave the outline for the oval and the S the same outline of 4. My fire has a lesser outline because it's a little bit less important, so I didn't want it to stand out as much. By the way, looking at this, it feels so sloppy compared to my real one, so I apologize for that, but obviously, you know, I'm trying to show you the quick version of everything. So I'm going to hold my Alt button down because after I've created the outline, one of the next things that I created was an offset shadow. So I basically make a duplicate of my the thing that I want to make a shadow. Then I go to the lower one and I change its inside to a dark color, like black. Alright, so now as far as it being offset, all I have to do is move it to where I think it looks best. In my logo, it looks kind of something like this. So that's my offset shadow for the S. So if I just wanted a simple shaped outline, like just for the oval, for example, I can just duplicate the oval, object, arrange, send to back, and make the oval default, which is white with a black outline. And I could just make it slightly bigger than the background, than the blue one is, and I could put it into place. However, if we're trying to outline the whole logo, which will give it a little bit more unity, I'm going to delete this, we're going to have to do something a little trickier. And that's basically going back to our favorite, the pen tool, and just literally tracing around it with your pen tool. So you're going to trace around the whole shape. Now, of course, I saw that come white, but I don't I don't want to give you a whole nother pen tutorial, so I'm just going to fast forward this. If you don't know why that's happening, you should really watch the former videos on the pen tool. So this is the quick version of my outline. I'm now going to use my direct selection anchor point tool or my white arrow to just adjust things and make them look their best. So this is my 8th grade version of this Squirrel Man logo. Not quite up to par with my college version where I made my real one, but not too bad for a quick logo project. Those of you who are in 7th grade, you're actually going to come back to this logo and do more work on it later to make different variations and stuff happen. So you'll get to apply some pretty cool changes to your logos. One thing I want to mention, by the way, before I close this down, is that you could see up by the top of my S, you can see up here that it doesn't trace the actual line. I did that on purpose to create variation, and that's in my real logo, so that's why I did that. You could choose that a regular outline is more for you, or maybe you'll choose that you want to have a little bit of a variation somewhere within your outline just to like give them something they don't expect, kind of thing. I still have a little bit of work to do on my logo with the white arrow tool, but I don't need you to see all that. So what I'm going to do now is what I did in college. I'm going to make a little tiny picture of the screen by deselecting everything and pressing Command-Shift-4. I also want to make sure everything is out of the way before I do that, so if you have anything in the way, you might want to do that. Command-Shift-4. Take a little picture of my logo. And now I'm going to use this logo on every other project that I do in Photoshop or anywhere else. I could just throw this up on my final product instead of writing my name on it. Unfortunately, being that it is school, you are going to have to still write your name on the file names. But that's a cool way to say that this is by you, just by dragging it onto your page here and making it the proper size. Now, if I held Shift when I was doing this, by the way, it would make it the scaled size. But this is how I'm going to assign my work from now on. You certainly don't have to do it, but if you're proud of your logo or you like it, you know, that's a way to assign your work because that means you. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this project and this video. Feel free to leave appropriate comments and take care.